Hi everyone, we take 1 minute to test the video and the audio connection. No.
Try now, if you can hear us. Hello, can you hear us?
Hello Ali.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you, Sorin.
Let's close here, otherwise we will not have enough bandwidth. Okay, we will start in 3 minutes. We wait for newcomers. Thank you.
Well, everything works fine, so let's start and welcome to our webinar. If you have any question, write us in the chat during the webinar. We'll try to answer all your questions.
Okay, we need to open the live so we can see the chat. Okay, I will share the screen. One moment. Okay, now we can start. So, this is the walkthrough of the stage 3. It's the YouTube live webinar for Udacity and Google. And let's talk about us. Okay. I am Lorenzo Zaccagnini. I am a mentor for the Udacity Mobile Web Specialist Nano degree. I have a Master of Science in Psychology and I work as a JavaScript and blockchain developer, Ethereum. My project, The Volume, co-founded with Elisa, was the first decentralized application published in Italy and the first Italian project presented at the Station F in Paris, the biggest startup hub in the world.
My name is Elisa Romondia. I am a mobile web specialist grad student, and at this moment I am in the Udacity Data Science Challenge powered by Bertelsmann. I am a Master of Science in Psychology, and I work as a blockchain developer, consultant, and teacher. With one of my projects, The Volume, mentioned by Lorenzo, I was selected for the Starter Award 2017 as one of the top 10 European female entrepreneurs. In this webinar, we'll talk about how to pass from stage 2 to stage 3. So if you are stuck in the stage 2, we suggest you to watch the dark brown webinar. In this webinar, we'll talk about stage 3 features like offline, online events, how to mark a restaurant as favorite or not, and how to create an accessible form. We'll not show you how to code the entire project step by step for 2 reasons. First, one of the best aspects of coding is that allows you to be creative. There isn't a one and only right way to develop this project. And during the webinar, we'll show you only our way. We suggest you to try by your own, and first of all, to enjoy what you're doing. Coding is amazing, even if you fall down sometimes. Second, we don't have enough time to code live the entire project line by line and go deeper in every single aspect of the stage. But don't worry, because every resource is provided to you by Udacity in your classroom and available 24/7. Well, after saying this, I think it's time to see our stage 3 in action. So let's go.
Okay, let's see our stage 3 on Netlify. This is our stage 3. As you can see, we have the restaurant cards, the map, the favorite button, so we can toggle the button as we want, like this. And we can see the details of a restaurant. The form of the review, and the review list. This is basically all you need for stage 3. And now we go deeper inside the code and the stage. We take some time, a pause, to look at the chat, because we can see the chat if we are looking at the slides. Okay, no one asked something, so we can continue. So, our project structure. Our project structure is simple. It's very simple. Each page has a controller, a JavaScript file containing the logic of the component. As you can see, we have the main.js file that refers to index.html, so the home page. And we have restaurantinfo.js that refers to the restaurant page, the page of the details. We have the DB helper file containing a class, basically a class containing all the methods for IndexedDB and the server communication. So you will find the fetch API to send data or get data from the server, and the code for IndexedDB to get data from offline, when you are offline. And we got idb.js that allow us to use promises with IndexedDB, saving us a lot of time and making things simple. I will show you in Atom how our project is structured. Whoop. Okay. So, as you can see, we have all the JS files here in the JS folder. We have index, restaurant, the service worker file, and service worker register file. Here we only register the service worker. Here we have all the cache and all the service worker events. Nothing different from the stage 2 here. And we have DB helper, that is a class containing all the things we need to communicate with the server and with IndexedDB. We have IDB that allow us to use promises with IndexedDB. Main.js, that is the JavaScript file for the home page. And restaurantinfo.js, that is the JavaScript file for the detail page, this page. Okay, let's go back to the slides. Whoa. And talk about the backend. So, new subscriber. Let's see our backend database schema. We got two objects. It's like two tables if you like SQL. One is the restaurants object. As you can see here, I will enable the pointer, containing all the restaurant info, like the contact info, the hours, and especially if a restaurant is a favorite or not. So as you can see here, this restaurant is not favorite because it's false. The second big object or table if you want to call it like this, is the reviews object. In the reviews object, we have all the reviews. We can relate the reviews by the restaurant ID. So each review has a restaurant ID that allows us to relate the review to the restaurant. I can show you the backend file, so we will see better. Okay, this is the backend of the stage 3. As you can see, the local disk DB is our database, and we have restaurants containing all the restaurant info. It's a long file. And we have the reviews. So 2 objects, like 2 tables. Okay, let's continue. So is one database for one app? Let's see. Yes, it's one database. We use IndexedDB to create our database, to use the data when we are offline, or to use the data when it's available, to load it instantly in our page. First of all, we use IndexedDB to create one database for offline data storage with 2 object stores, the reviews and the restaurant object stores. The object stores are like SQL tables. I'm repeating this too many times. So we have these 2 big objects matching the backend database schema that we saw before. We do this in order to facilitate operation both online or offline. So it's like having a clone of the online database using the IndexedDB. We do it offline. So we have a clone offline of the online database using IndexedDB. Okay, let's go. Favorite restaurants, the first big feature we need to implement in our stage 3. Let's talk about our favorite restaurants for the stage. How we can set a restaurant as our favorite, how we can develop the UI and the components logic. Let's go. So before seeing that, we need to fetch the restaurants, because as we saw before, the isFavorite key that we need is contained in the restaurant object. So we have a long list of restaurants, and each restaurant has the isFavorite key. So we need to grab each restaurant and look for the isFavorite key and see if it's false or true. Before updating the restaurant isFavorite, we need to know if we need to use post or put. We need the method post for create operation, like creating a new review. We would see it later. Or if you want to create a new restaurant, it's not a request on this stage. And we use put for update operations, like update a restaurant info, like if it's our favorite or not. So it's an update. We don't create nothing. We just update, or edit a review. So if we want to update something, we use put. We can use patch, but right now we use put. So post for creating things, put for updating things. Let's see the API docs of the backend. Okay. So put endpoints. To favorite a restaurant, we need to use put and use these endpoints. Basically, we pass the restaurant ID and a Boolean value like true or false. Okay, 1 second that we are reading the chat. Okay, let's go into the live action. Favorite UI. In order to create our UI, we need to create a button to favorite or unfavorite our restaurant. We do this in the restaurant card HTML, simply by creating a button, adding to that button a click event, an on-click event. As you can see here, we have this button that simply becomes red when it's favorite, it becomes dark gray when it's unfavorite. So if we reload, we will see the Emily restaurant gray. Okay. Now it's favorite, we will see it red again. Simply that we need to do. Okay, let's see in add-on in this HTML. Let me close this. Okay, main.js. When we create the restaurant HTML.
Wow.
Okay. As you can see, here we have the button. This is the button. This is the relation between the code and the UI. Okay, let's continue. Mark the restaurant as favorite. We had an on-click event that called the DB helper method update favorite status that communicate with the server, and we will see it later. And we use the change fab element class embed at naming methods and functions. So sorry for that. I'm not the best naming developer. And we pass into the class change fab if the restaurant is favorite or not, and the button element. Simply that. As you can see, we use a special character. An art. And we add the favorite button class. Then we append the element to the list, because the card of the restaurant is made by a list of elements. Okay, let's go. This is the class that we use to toggle the style of the element and the area label. So if we mark the restaurant as favorite, we will have an area label that says that we can remove this restaurant as favorite. If the restaurant is not a favorite, the area label will say mark this restaurant as a favorite. So if you use assistive technology, you'll be able to mark a restaurant as a favorite or remove the restaurant as a favorite with the area label, using the area label. Remember that we do the opposite. So if you look closely, this is an opposite condition. Okay. Let's go into the heart of our code. Now, here we are in the DB helper class. So, in this method, we pass the restaurant ID, as you can see here. And we pass if the restaurant is a favorite one, so true or false. The argument can be true or false here, and here is a number. We use the fetch API with the method put to update, as we saw before. And if the fetch is successful, we call DB promise that call index DB, basically. We open a transaction and write the update into the restaurant object store. Like this, we can use this data later when we are offline. So we will be offline. We can still see if a restaurant is favorite or not, because we will take the data from the index DB when offline. Okay, let's do a little recap, because it's easy to get lost in all these things. Okay, so on a user point of view, we will have this UI that toggles from red to dark gray. In the main.js, there is the logic of the button. As you can see here, this will toggle the class and the area label. And this will update the information in the server. Let's go to DB helper to see how we do this. Let me use the search. Okay. What we do here is simple. We use fetch and put to update the information. We use DB promise to open index.db and write our new information. As you can see on the top, this is DB promise, basically a function that allows us to work with index.db. Okay, I guess now we go to the most difficult part of this stage. Okay.
Now let's see how to add a new review. First, let's talk a little bit about how we fetch the reviews. We created a method inside DB helper class that fetches the reviews using the fetch API and index.db. When online, this method simply fetches the reviews using the fetch API, passing the restaurant ID as a filter, and storing the data in index.db. When offline, we get the data from index.db using the getStoreObjectById method. We'll show you how in the next slide. This method returns all the reviews stored in index.db, matching the restaurant ID. As you can see, the first parameter is the object store name. The second is the index we want to use. In this case, the index is restaurant, meaning the restaurant ID. The third parameter is the ID number of the restaurant. Now let's see our form. We created a form element containing an input text box for the name of the editor, a select element for the rating, a text area for the comment, and a button to send the review. For accessibility, we use again area label on the select element, label and name for the text area, and the input text. Let's see our form in the browser.
Okay, let's see our form in the browser. So, okay, let's go to our barbecue favorite restaurant.
Yeah,
market is favorite.
Detailed page. This page.
Okay, this is our form. We have the author, the rating, and the comment box, and the button to add a review. We can add a review. I hope it's working. So let's Jimmy 5 comments always on webinar in the restaurant. Okay, this is Jimmy. Thank you, Jimmy.
And this is our review.
Later we will show you how it behaves when offline.
Now let's see how the form works. First, we take the form data, taking all the values we need from the form elements, such as the editor name, the rating, and the comment. The date is generated automatically, taking the timestamp of the moment when we send the review. Next, we add the review using the DB helper class called add review. We add the review to the UI inside the review list. Then we reset the form, clearing all the data inside.
Reset.
Yeah. Adrian asks us the strategy for keeping user form data while offline and submitting it when back online. Let's see how. Inside the helper class, we created a method named addReview. This method creates an object for offline storage that we use it only if the user is offline. If offline, we use local storage to store that object and send it later when online. We'll see the send data when online method in the next slide. If the user is offline, we create an object called fetch options containing the form data and the post request method. Next, we run the fetch API using the fetch options object. When the user adds a review while offline, we fire the send data when offline method. When online method. Sorry. This method stores the review object in the local storage. Adds an event listener to wait in background until the user is online again. When it's online, gets the review from the local storage. Then updates the UI. Sends the review to the server calling addReview, the method saw before, and then removes the object from the local storage. So we add the new review to the review list into the UI, and if the review are offline, we mark them as offline, applying a different CSS style. Let's see how it works.
Okay.
Our browser.
Make it big.
Yeah, better.
Okay. Let's hope it works, otherwise it will be funny. Okay, offline, we got this Andre, 5-star. This restaurant is awesome, even when the connection.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. As you see, we have the review marked as offline. As you see here, maybe it's too little. We see local storage review stored. So this is not in the server. This is in the local storage. If we go offline, if we go online, this will be sent to the server using the send data when online method.
And the CSS style change again.
As you see now, if we refresh, we will see.
All the reviews are online.
Okay.
We strongly suggest you to implement form validation both server and client side in your application. It's a really long topic to discuss, and we don't have enough time in this webinar. But remember always to sanitize and validate input data.
Let's do a little recap of the addReview workflow.
Yes.
Okay. I have item, I need this. So the user has the form in the restaurant page. This is the form, as you can see. One input box, a select element with 5 options, a comment test area element, and a button to submit with the on-click function addReview. Sorry, the on-click event with the addReview function. All inside the form, as you can see. Okay. addReview is in the restaurant info.js file. calling the addReview function. The addReview function grabs the data from the elements, as you can see, name, value from this, rating, query selector. We will take the select element value from here, and comments from here. This object front-end review contains all this information, and we push this object inside the addReview DB helper function. I'm sorry that this is the same name, it's a little bit confusing. Let's go to the DB helper addReview function. I will use the search, otherwise it will be a long journey into the code. Is this? Okay. So after the restaurant info.js addReview function send the object to the method view inside the DB helper class, we create an object that we use only if we need it offline. So only if the user is offline, we use this object. If offline, as you can see, navigator.online, we use the sendDataWhenOnline method. Let me show you this navigator.online thing. Okay. Use always the Mozilla docs because it's awesome and you will find all the best practice to use. As you can see here, Navigator Online is a property that gives us true or false if the connection is online or offline. If it's online, will give us true. If it's offline, will give us false. More, we can add an event. So let's see. Let's see if there is the event example.
Maybe there.
Online, offline event. Yeah. Let's see if I can show you. An example. Okay, it was in the bottom. So as you can see here, you can add an event listener to do things when we are online or when we are offline. This will run in the background, waiting for the connection to be online. And this will wait in the background to wait if the connection is offline. And you can use this in this project to send the review when offline. So when it's offline, you grab the review data from the form and store it in the local storage. As you see here in the sendDataWhenOnline. So we check with the Navigator online if the connection is online or offline. So we check the connection here. And if the connection is offline, so this value is false, we go into the sendDataWhenOnline method and we return. So the function stops here. Do this and stops here. In the sendDataWhenOnline, we push the offline object. So this is the data from the form. So we are offline. This function comes and we set we put the data in the local storage, as you see here, stringified, so it's a string from the JSON to a string. Later we add an event listener as we saw before. So when we are online, again, this callback will be on, will be started. So when we are online again, we take back the data from the local storage. We parse the data because it's a string, so we need to make it back as a JSON, so we parse it. To make it a string, we use stringify. To make it JSON, we use parse. We use the spread operator here to look for all the reviews with the review offline class. So it's the label with the offline written on it. So the red label saying offline. We search for that and we remove all these classes. So the review seems like it's online. It's like the other online reviews. And what we do next, we call the method addReview. And after we remove the item that we stored in the local storage, because we don't need this item anymore because we sent it to the server, so we don't need it anymore. We call addReview, as you see here. So it's like a circle. It's offline, we call this method. It's online, we call back this method again, and we continue. So if it's offline, this method interrupts here, stops here. But when online, we can continue, and we create the review send object and the fetch option object. This allows us to send to the server our review. Okay, I think it's all for the addReview.
It's enough for this topic.
Okay, let's see what we need to do. There are other solutions. As a mentor, I see a lot of students using background sync. Background sync is a service worker event that runs in the background, waiting until a promise is resolved. Let me show you background sync documentation. I think I have it here. No. So, as you can see, to use background sync, you basically need to register service worker. You register the synchronization event, as you can see here. The register event has a tag name, so we can use this tag name to do different things. If you want to use different events, not different events, different situations. Like if we send the server, we send the review, or maybe we make a restaurant as favorite, we can change this tag as send review or mark favorite. So as you see down there in the service worker, we add an event listener for the synchronization and we check for the tag. This is the tag. So if it's like send review, we will do the function for the send review. If it's for the favorite, so here it will be favorite, we will do the favorite function to mark the restaurant's favorite. This wait until basically wait for a promise to be resolved. So when we are offline, the fetch promise can be resolved because it's offline. So wait until our function, our promise is resolved. This is one of the solutions. But there are some downfalls, like background sync. It's not supported by many browsers. So we must be careful to use background sync. And it's not really easy to use, and it's in progress, as you can see here. Okay, there is another solution. This is a really great solution.
Workbox.
Called Workbots, made by Google. What is Workbots? Workbots is a set of libraries that we use to build progressive web apps. So you can do all the stage 3 using Workbots. It's made, it's really good. It's a really good library and has background sync. But the best thing is that Workbots implements background sync and as a fallback if the browser does not support the background sync, as you can see here in the documentation. A fallback strategy for browsers that don't yet implement background sync. So it's safe to use if someone uses Internet Explorer or an old version of Chrome or, I don't know, Opera. This will fall back and use another strategy and will work. So check Workbox because it's really good. So you have plenty of solutions, local storage, background sync, Workbots. We use local storage because it's simple to use. But remember that local storage is synchronous. It's synchronous. So we'll block the main thread if you use a lot of data or a lot of operation. So the best thing is to use local storage for simple operation. And right now we store like three strings and a number. So it's safe to use local storage. But if you need to store a lot of data, use IndexedDB because it's asynchronous and you have an index. And when you have a lot of data, having an index to filter the data and render the data, it's best. So really a good thing. Okay.
Now let's see our project performance. So no good, no Webpack, no Lighthouse. Our Lighthouse, sorry, our Lighthouse score must be terrible.
Yes, no minification, no inline CSS, no nothing, just this plain HTML and JavaScript. So I think we must score like 0 in the Lighthouse.
But
wow, 100 each score. This is not a cheat. I will show you.
Let's see how.
Okay, as you can see, we made it before because we are in the streaming. So maybe if I do the audit again, the performance will go really low because we use the bandwidth to stream the video. As you can see, we got 100, 100, 100. How is that possible? It's magic. We use Paint to modify our score.
Photoshop.
Okay, let's do the audit again. I can do it because I have another. Okay. I think now I can do it again. No, says that it's open. Okay. Where is open?
Maybe. No.
Maybe here. Okay. Found it. Okay, let's run the audit. Wow. We have 100 score on Progressive Web App because we are on Netlify and it's on HTTPS. Oh, 99. It's good. So we did not cheat.
No. You can try it by your own. There is a link to our Progressive Web App on the video description.
Yes, you need to run the server.
Yes.
Because it will not work otherwise, as you can see here.
That's true.
I had the server in the local host. Okay, running on localhost. How we made it? Without gulp, without Webpack, without a lot of NPM modules? How we made it? It's magic? No. It's laziness. Just lazy loading images. So we use the intersection observer to lazy load images in the index page. The intersection observer allows us to know when an element is visible in the viewport. The degree of its visibility is called the intersection ratio. So if we are seeing this object, how much we are seeing this object. For example, if you only want to detect when the visibility of an element passes the 30% mark, you can use a value of 0.5 in the intersection radio or threshold. As you can see here, we check for a value that is greater than 0. Basically, when an image is visible in the viewport. So we check if an image is visible, basically. Okay. This allows us to don't the images outside the viewport. So we load only the images that we are seeing or we need to see now. Saving time and resources, as you can see in the performance score of 100 or 99. As you can see, the intersection observer has an unchanged callback. The unchanged callback is called when the visibility of the object changes. So when the images enter in our viewport, the intersection ratio changes and becomes greater than 0. So what we do when it's greater than 0, we say load the images, load the image, single image, because this is for all the images. Oh, no. Okay, and we load the image and we call unobserved because right now it's done. We load the image and it's done. Stop watching the image. Okay, we have a config object where we define the threshold. We use this to know if the browser supports the intersection observer. And we pass the unchanged callback and the config object. We call observer.observe on the element that we want to observe. This is a function to load the image, basically. And the unchanged function, we call the function to load the images if the image enters the viewport. So when the image enters the viewport, we load the image. Otherwise, we don't do it, saving time and resources. And we used only that, nothing more. Let me give you a tip. Don't overkill projects. I see many students use 100 npm modules to finish this project. It's really too much because it's like 2 pages, one that fetches data and updates a restaurant, and the other one that sends a review and fetches reviews. It's not like an enterprise solution, an enterprise platform. You don't need 300 megabytes of node modules in this project. And when you will work with customers, if you use a lot of dependencies, you will go into a danger zone because everything you use, everything you had can crash, lose compatibility, or being not supported anymore. Just Google the left pad case. When a developer removed the left pad npm module from the npm store, and a lot of npm packages crashed because they simply needed this package, and it was like an apocalypse. So stay lazy, stay impatient. If something takes too much, it's not the right solution. If something takes too much work, it's not the right solution.
Stay lazy.
Okay, let's do some question and answer. We have 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
PWA Live
It's not working.
Try
to do localhost.
Yes, you need the Udacity backend server running on localhost.
Yes, there is the link on the video description. Well, I ask if the code will be on GitHub. Oh.
We can do it, otherwise the people will clone the project and we will see all people with the same project. Not the best thing.
But you can see the project on the live on Netlify, so and in the slide that you have the link on the video description.
Yes, you can pause the video and look at the code.
Yeah.
I can't say anymore.
How may I know if I didn't finish the course while mobile in the deadline? How much it will cost to continue the course? Well, the course cost is on the Udacity course homepage, I think. Well,
you need to contact the support because we don't manage the Udacity.
We don't know the cost.
Okay, let's see. You guys get paid. You guys paid to get 100. Yes, yes, we pay.
We use Photoshop.
I'm broke because I paid to get 100.
You guys look great. Thank you, Ali.
Okay. Let's enable the webcam and stop the screen sharing. Okay, now you can see us.
Oh.
Why your restaurant 10 doesn't have an image? Okay. Basically, the last restaurant doesn't have an image because it's a simulation of a missing image.
Try it with Chrome, even with the server running, it won't work with Firefox, at least for me.
So the image, it takes a placeholder, basically, because can happen that when you do an application, you will get some elements missing from the data. So you grab the data from the server, some elements are missing. I don't know, because some delayed operation or a name is changed, and you will miss the element. What happens if you don't manage this kind of situation where something missing? The UI will crash. So you will have like a restaurant card with all the text pushed on the top. Will be ugly to see. So you need to manage. If something is missing, you will use a placeholder. If you have an image missing, you will go into the code and write, if the image is undefined, take this placeholder. This is what we do. And we use the WebP format for the images. Let me show you. On the add-on. Okay. So you can see we have the images folder. It's WebP.
You can.
Yes, there is an image in the folder. It's undefined.
Undefined, the .webp.
Always handle missing elements, because otherwise the app will crash. Let me see if I can show you something. Okay. This is live. Yeah. Wow. Maybe I will do something stupid. Display, no. Style. I can do it here. Style. Display, no. As you see, getting the screen. As you see here, if we don't manage missing images, we will have the UI crashing. And the user will think, this application is not really good.
Broke.
Your customers will complain. Your dog will not eat for 10 days. And bad things will happen. Okay, let's take it back. Now it's good. Enrique doesn't have an image. Do you guys provide special help
to special people?
What do you mean for special people? You mean people with disabilities or other kind of things?
Thank you very much for your explanation. It's very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. English is not our mother tongue, so we are
Italians.
We are trying our best. Okay, I guess I'm streaming. No, Doug Brown did the webinar for the stage 2. I can give you the link in the chat.
Yeah, 1 second.
1 second.
Doug Brown.
You can search on YouTube Doug Brown Udacity. I guess you will find it. Okay.
1.
Wait.
1 second.
Okay. I'm Googling.
From West page 2. Doug Brown webinar
yes.
to update.
Is this?
Yes.
Wow, my YouTube page. Okay.
Yes.
We copy the link and we can't write the link. So write the title. We can paste the title so you can search it. Oops.
1 second.
Those less loading with the intersection server will be enough. Yes, yes.
Mille grazie, prego.
Yes, we used only lazy loading, as you can see here. In the I'm not sharing the screen. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. This is my project folder, and as you can see here from the top, there is nothing fancy about we use the leaflet map. We used basic function from the stage 2, and here when we create the restaurant HTML, we use lazy loading, nothing more. We change the class, add the markets, and this is done. Here we just only add the review, fill the breadcrumb, init the map, fetch the restaurant, fill the restaurant, HTML, restaurant hours HTML, fills review HTML, create reviews, and so on. The DB helper, it's not here we register the service worker, and here we have the service worker that it's basically the stage 2 service worker. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy about it. And this is all our project. So no gulp, no webpack, nothing. You can see there is no node module folder.
Lol, no, I mean people who are struggling with the course. Do you provide one-to-one support? Well, Lorenzo is a mentor, and he doesn't provide one-to-one support outside the mentorship at Udacity website, so it's not possible for now. But you can use Slack and other communities to share your question, and we can answer on Slack if you want.
You can use your mentor. Each student has a mentor, and as the students have the classroom and the classroom for the project where they can write their questions. But talk with your mentor, because as a mentor, I see a lot of students that they are too shy to talk with me, or they think that if they get help from me, their score or their nano degree will be, I don't know, downgraded because they asked for help. It's totally fine to ask for help. Nothing will happen. Just you to learn more things. We are here to help. I mean mentors. We are here to help. You can use our experience, our skills to make your stage be perfect. I think the time is up.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You can contact us on our social, like LinkedIn and Twitter.
Thank you for your attention, and happy coding to all, and stay audacious.
Stay audacious. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for your attention.